party people? Welcome to another episode of the Men in Scoring Position podcast. I'm your resident runner on second, Bill Kyrish, joined as always by a man who prefers glamping to camping. He's known around here as the runner on third because he's always about to score, Travis Bins. Travis, how are you?
What's up, man? I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
That's awesome.
I understand.
I do like camping, by the way.
But glamping you prefer.
I'm going glamping this weekend, but I prefer...
Sure.
I like them both. I like doing 9 holes, and I like, digging 9 holes. Anyway, guys, if this is your first time tuning in, we are the Men in Scoring Position.
And we
Thank you
usually
so
have better
much.
metaphors than that. Just
Yeah,
so
that was
you know.
awful. A
That was a bad
cornucopia?
metaphor. Yes.
Plethora. Guys, we are the Men in Scoring Position. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're a return listener, thank you. We love you. If this is your first time, you can find us on our social media platforms, Facebook, SoundCloud, and iTunes, all self-titled Men in Scoring Position. You can find us on Twitter and Snapchat at Men in Scoring POS. And if you have any thoughts, comments, general overall points of view, feel free to email us at meninscoringpod@gmail.com. Billy, what do they always need to do?
Oh, yeah. Rate, review, subscribe, and tell a friend.
Tell a bundle of friends.
A couple of a cornucopia of
A
friends.
plethora.
I
All right,
like it.
we've done that to death. We got a lot to talk about,
man.
guys. This is going to be exciting. We want to first give a big shout out to our friends at the world famous Laugh Factory. Guys, if you like us on any of our social media platforms, show box office, you get free complimentary tickets for you and your friends, and as long as they like us too, which they will.
Yeah, duh.
Right.
Yeah.
And also we want to give a big shout out to our friends over at Frank's Bar, 2503 North Clark Street.
My favorite address.
Open 11 to 4, 11 to 5 on weekends. Make good decisions and always tip your wait staff.
I was going to say, and if your friends don't like us, they're not your true friends.
Fuck those guys.
Exactly. So if you're joining us on video, obviously we're back at Laugh Factory. Last week we taped over in my apartment. We had a little...
Say apartment again.
Apartment.
Apartment.
I like
Cool
pronouncing
whip.
the T's. We had a little bit of an audience. Now we have a different audience. First time
do?
audience. Let's hear
Yeah.
ya.
Nice.
All
nice.
right.
We have,
I don't know if
we got the Grecian god, the stud. Our
that
new
polo?
lovely... What's that?
Is that a polo shirt?
Dude,
Oh.
Benj. Oh, with the name drop. I see you. Okay. All right, Wolf on Wall Street. So yeah, what do we got? We have a lot to talk
Man,
about.
So now we're down to once a week. I mean, let's start with the most recent, I guess, the Cubs.
Yes, Chris, Nick, all our fans, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
Fens in Florida. 20 minutes. We're gonna start now ish. If you want to fast forward, but we got to touch base on some MLB and heavy Cubs
We'll put a marker in our description on SoundCloud for you.
and Facebook. Yeah,
And Facebook.
Yeah. All right. So what are we? Man, go ahead.
Yeah. You want to start with the series overall? The Cubs ended up winning 3-1. The Monday night game. Oh boy, went into 12 innings
It's pretty awesome.
to 1. Did you watch all of it? I'm sure you. Watched
I watched all
of it.
the games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, the one where what was it? Monday was when Bryant hit the 2-run homer
Correct.
over the wall.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for those of you who didn't see it, it was incredible. We were down. We needed 2 runs, top of the 9th. Beautiful, sexy, talented Chris Bryant.
Also, he's a Lyft driver sometimes.
Shut
You
up.
saw that video?
No.
Okay, yeah.
No, I got to say, we men in scoring position, we know what we're talking about. Yeah, he ends up cranking one that barely gets over. And Wrigley, it would have been gone. And he ties the game up.
Yeah.
We go into 14 innings and then ground roll double walk-off. So, what are you going to do? And then let's talk about the real winner.
It was. I mean, if you want to talk a little bit of that game, does that put
Sure.
any sort of fear in your heart with Chapman going forward?
No, Chapman doesn't like pitching in the 8th. He's been shown to not like pitching in the 8th. I know that he and Madden and everybody all, were kind of discredited that. They're like, he should be able to. But his MO, which we saw in the following game, which I'm going to come right back.
Yeah.
He was in the 9th, and he closed it out. 3 strikes,
Yeah.
game over.
I mean, they were saying, too, during the broadcast
That game was overmanaged.
in his career, he's only had one previous 6-out save.
Sure.
Despite the fact he came up as a starter,
Sure.
he's only had one career 6-out save. So, I mean, I like the fact Joe Madden brought in his best pitcher in the 8th inning. Did I think he should have went, if he would have...
That was also almost necessity, though, buddy.
Exactly. No, and if he would have gone through the 8th, would he have gone through the 9th? I don't know. I like... You're paying this guy to be your shutdown closer, and I think we talked about this during the Orioles game too. I think the closer position has become way too specialized, where it has to be in the ninth inning, it has to be in a safe situation. It's like, well, if he's your best pitcher coming out of the bullpen, why don't you want him in the most stressful situation? And I think it was the right move to put Chapman in there. I just don't know if that bodes well for him in the future, because he did come in the ninth. So it's like, is he a guy who can only come in at ninth?
No, I'm with you. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I completely agree, 110% with you. I think it has become almost like the quarterback position, where it's like too babied. Mm-hmm. Like let the guy play. He's gonna throw heat, whether it's 9 pitches. He could throw heat into about 40 pitches, I think. Yeah. Personally, and that's stretching it, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But he can do it. I mean, it's Aroldis Chapman. He's the fastest clock pitcher in MLB history.
Yeah.
But I also want to give a big shout out to the best player on the Cubs team, Sergio Romo. That guy, thank you so much. If you guys didn't see, he was the relief closer, 3-time World Series champion, so nothing to take away from him. I don't think I'm out of line by saying he might be a little past his prime, because he gave up a lot of runs in 2 innings both games.
We definitely took advantage of a weaker bullpen.
Yeah.
By we, I'm talking about the Cubs, of course. I've adopted them now.
Thanks, buddy. Blue looks good on you.
So I do want to go back to Monday's game real quick.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's break it down. Sorry, I'm all over the place.
Arrieta hitting a 3-run home run.
Woo!
How did that feel?
Dude, I don't even know how to put it, man.
Off of Madison Bumgarner, too.
Listen, man. Oh, my God. Can I just say that those San Francisco announcers need to just quit? They were awful. Did you listen to them?
Yeah. Wait, on the Fox Sports?
So Jake Arrieta hits that 3-run bomb. Mm-hmm. Incredible, dude.
Yeah. No, I was watching. So that was Monday night. I just want to say I was watching both the Bucks game, we'll get to the Tampa Bay game, and the Cubs game at the same time. And
did you see the live Arrieta hit?
So I got that one on my phone. I got the Bucks game on TV. My girlfriend's kind of sleeping on the couch, and I just go, holy shit.
Unreal.
And she wakes up. She's like, what? Did the Bucks score? And I was like, no. Arrieta hit a home run.
Yeah, with the same exact swing. I think it was a 3-2 count, wasn't it?
It was ridiculous.
He definitely had 2 strikes.
Arrieta's a beast, man.
But here's the thing: as being a Cubs fan, that's not we're privy to that. Zambrano used to crush home runs too. But here's all right. To get back to the San Francisco announcers, they go, well, Bumgarner. I'm sure he'd like to even up the score with Arrieta. I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, Bumgarner's not going to crush a 3-run homer. There's not even anybody on base. You know what I mean? But yeah, Jake is he's another level, man. You don't pick up a guy like that isn't super highly touted and have him be that valuable and overall pitching 170
he looks really good through.
What's his overall? It's a 2.2 this year, 2.5. Something dumb.
It's slightly towards 3. I know that. It's
okay. So let's even say that he goes from a 1.7 to under a 3 in 2 years and is crushing home runs in the playoffs.
Off of Madison Bumgarner,
when Jorge Soler and freaking Jason Hayward can't even hit a home run.
If you listen to our last podcast, quick.
Please do.
Yeah, quick reminder about Madison Bumgarner. He is probably the best postseason pitcher of all time. He's had 10 starts of 7 innings or more scoreless starts in the playoffs since 2010. Which is ridiculous. He's won 3 World Series. His ERA in the World Series is .29. This guy is ridiculous.
He's also a psychopath, too, dude.
A fellow pitcher to hit a home run off him, despite the fact that Jake Arrieta is a handsome man with a beard.
Yes, he is.
I mean, that was absolutely amazing. So, end up losing that game, though. And did you lose faith at all going into Tuesday after? So you got the home run.
I'm not gonna lie, there was a sinking feeling.
So you got the home run of Arrieta off of Bumgarner. You think, hey, this is our year, right? You got our pitcher hitting off arguably the best postseason pitcher of all time, hitting a 3-run home run. You're like, this is our game, right?
Yeah.
End up losing that game. Wednesday, was there a sinking feeling at the start, or
not because of their team? It was now their team is incredible, dude. The San Francisco Giants are no joke. They're a phenomenal ball club. They have a weak bullpen, which we wanted to exploit.
Yeah,
and we really took.
Thank God they had a weak bullpen because those starting pitchers. But then so then you go Wednesday, right? You start off. Denard Span starts off with
Span was unreal
with a double, gets hit in 1-0 after 1 inning off a Lackey. Nervous?
No, I wasn't nervous about any of that. I was more nervous about the history of the Cubs. It's not any particular inning. It's not any particular player. It's not any particular game. Because we completely took Hunter Pence out of the entire series, which is their best player.
Yeah,
and then we also made Madison Bumgarner look like a bum. Like he wasn't that good against us. I mean, honestly, Denard Span was the MVP of that series along with Connor Gillespie.
Yeah, and Buster Posey did pretty decent.
Buster Posey did good in Monday. He didn't do very well on Tuesday. But there was a sinking feeling. I think that the Monday game kind of solidified all that San Francisco had to give. It was a 14-inning fight, but at the end of the day, like, I will say my sinking feeling really came in at the bottom of the 8th of the Tuesday game.
When we were down by, was it 3?
It was 2-5. Yeah, so we were down by 3 runs. We get 3 on base, no outs, no strikes, no nothing. We drive in a double. It's 4-5. We drive in the last run, no outs still, 5. Then we get 2 outs, fine, whatever. And then Wilson Contreras, you sexy son of a bitch, dude. Javi gets on base. Wilson hits a double. We get it up to 6. And then that's it, man. You're not gonna, and then to see a roll this, man, just 3 strikes, and then it was 2 strikes and a couple foul balls, and then once he swung, I was like, I thought it was a very unique move also to put Grandpa Rossi in with Chapman.
Yeah.
Usually Contreras is the guy back there.
Yeah.
Because they speak Spanish. Was that racist?
Mm-hmm.
Think so? We love Spanish people here at Men in Scoring Position. Also, guys, we want to I forgot to do this at the beginning of the podcast. I need to start doing this more often and make it part of the intro. Today is October 13th, 2016.
Yes. Wait, is it Friday? No, it's Thursday.
No, it's
Never mind.
October. Halloween promo's over, dude. What did you think about it all? I don't want to spend too much time on it if
so Monday night,
I think I did a really good job. I don't think there's anything else to talk about,
I will admit Tuesday night definitely lost a decent amount of faith, like, throughout the game.
Sure.
I thought
Frisco's a hell of a ball club.
Why I asked you how you were feeling about the Monday versus Tuesday was because my train of thought was, like I said, Arrieta hitting a home run off Bumgarner. Okay, this is the season. Like, this is the season they're going to win the World Series. Stuff like that doesn't happen, And then they end up losing the game. And then Tuesday comes around, and Lackey pitches decent. He pitches all right. But Matt Moore, and I texted you, and I go,
Matt Moore was incredible.
Matt Moore. And it's like, yeah, it's a little funny because he had a 4 ERA, but this is a guy I remember coming out with the Devil Rays, or the Rays, a couple years ago, throwing 98, 99 from the left. With a nasty curveball and slider. Ended up getting Tommy John surgery, so his stuff's a little down. But I still remember him in the ALDS against the Rangers in 2010. And I think he went 7 or 8 innings in the deciding game, struck out 12. I mean, this is a guy who's done it before in the postseason. And he just looked, him and Cueto, I want to say.
We made Cueto look awful.
No, Cueto was great, man. Cueto and Moore combined for 14 innings, giving up 1 earned run with 20 Ks.
How do we get to 2-0? Cueto was the starter.
That wasn't Cueto. It was the bullpen,
you're right.
Man.
I know. I understand. But, like, we made Bumgarner. I think you're thinking too much of Bumgarner's past. I disagree respectfully, because if you look at it, we basically retired. We had him up to, I think, like 50 pitches.
No, that was great. That was a great.
By the second inning?
That was the way the Cubs did. That was such a Joe Madden game.
Yeah.
Work the count.
He did
work pitches, get walks, foul balls off.
Yeah.
You want the pitcher to throw more and more pitches, obviously, so you get him out of the game. And that was the best game plan they could have had against him.
Madden is like a Greg Popovich in the sense of you don't ever question him. Like, there's a lot of things I want to say, but then I'm like, God, I don't want to be that 55-year-old alcoholic dad that's like, oh, you should have done this, you should have done that. Look, Joel Madden is the man. He is killing it. Me personally, if I could just critique his masterpiece that is, I would put Hayward at 8 in the batting lineup. I would not pinch hit with Soler. Mm-hmm. Soler's not hitting. Mm-hmm. And Soler's, I don't know, man. Those guys like Coughlin, great, man. Bring him in. He's in there just to hit. That's it. That's Coughlin's whole thing. Throw him out in the field every once in a while. Contreras can hit. Even Almora can hit. Almora's not crushing him, but he's hitting solid, doubles. And
speaking of like nitpicking with the managers, did you hear the announcers, like you were saying, that like in that Monday night game where they put in, was it Almora in right field? They put in for Hayward. No,
Oh yeah. Well, you got to ask yourself, would Hayward have caught that?
Yeah, that was because it's like Hayward was a lefty, so it was hit to the guys.
It was 15 yards away from him, dude. There's no. I don't care if you're Superman, you're not going to get that ball.
And then
Almora shuts him up.
Yeah, and then the next inning he goes and makes a diving catch. I find that so funny.
Those guys needed to be broadcasting
nitpicking so hard.
What are they doing in a major market like San Francisco? You got to put those guys in like
crazy. But
somewhere.
that was a great series, man. Had me going. Then Tuesday night coming back with the man,
dude. I went to that six different home runs by 6 different player game in the postseason in Wrigley Field against the Cardinals. That was electric. I don't think, and sitting at my home by myself watching it on my TV, I don't think I've ever been more excited.
Dude, that was great.
It's the largest comeback in the 9th inning in postseason history, and baseball's been around for over a century.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, no, that was crazy. So what are your takes from this series? Who do you think was the MVP?
Javier Baez.
Yeah.
Javier Baez and Jake Arrieta can make an arguable. Also, I want to give a shout-out, like an honorable mention to Montgomery.
Oh, yeah.
He was really good.
Yeah.
I think he had like 60 pitches. He's only supposed to pitch in the top of the 6th.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, I think that's why they traded for him, is because he's a guy that can, has starting experience.
Javier's
spot starter.
defensive ability is mind-boggling. Addison Russell, to me, is an amazing top shortstop fielder, but you can't even call him a shortstop anymore because Madden keeps switching these guys up. Javier, even though he wasn't getting some of the outs because it was like split second, did you see his fielding?
No, Javi's, I think, similar in the field as he is at up to bat. Like, he's never not trying. Like, he's always giving him 110%.
Pay that man.
Yeah.
Pay that man, dude. Enough Cubs. What else?
Yeah.
Let's break down the rest of the MLB.
I was going to say, so we got, with our predictions so far, we're both wrong. Cleveland ended up sweeping Boston in the AL.
It'd be pretty cool to see Cleveland and the Cubs in it.
We were both right. Toronto ended up sweeping Texas. The other series in the NL, you got Washington and LA actually going tonight. Game 5. Who you got? Who do you want to play?
It's a tough one. LA's got a really good pitching staff, and they're always in it. They got robbed of that last one, so it's anyone's game tonight. Personally, I don't like riding regular season wins, but I think I'm going to have to, if you had a gun to my head, say Washington.
You'd rather play Washington, or you think Washington's going to win?
No, I'd rather play Washington. Who is going to win? Obviously, if I'd rather play Washington, I think. For some reason, my gut is telling me LA is going to pull the win.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they're a really good team, but so is Washington.
They are. They're both.
I don't know how we're going to attack Washington in the postseason. We can't just take Bryce Harper out of the game like that in the postseason. The risk reward on that is.
So I'd much rather play LA because I was looking over the lineups today.
Okay.
Washington has 6 players with 20 or more home runs this season.
Yeah, well,
6.
Murphy scares the shit out of me.
Okay, I was talking.
I'm a Cubs fan, dude. Murphy scares the shit out of me.
Okay, I want to say Uncle Mike, if you're listening from 7-Eleven, Uncle Mike, I got in a conversation with you last night. Who said
you got to put the booze down, dude. You can't be making friends at 7-Eleven.
So I went to buy a little whatever, and we were talking about the National Series, and I said I'm still afraid of Daniel Murphy from what he did last year. He's like, oh, he didn't do anything this year. Daniel Murphy batted .350 with almost 30 home runs and 100 RBIs. Like, he didn't. Uncle Mike, what are you doing?
Get it together, Uncle Mike.
But yeah, like I said, 6 players with 20-plus home runs. Fortunately, though, Strasburg's still out, so you get the Scherzer, Gio Gonzalez. None of the pitching stats really scare me. Kershaw's okay in the playoffs. I'd much rather play LA. No one in the lineup really scares me.
They hit.
They really don't, though. I mean, you got Jock.
They don't hit home runs. They get on base and they drive in runs, which is really, really good baseball. Which means that they're patient.
Nobody scares me on that team, though. I mean, Corey Seager's probably this player.
Yeah, do they have the superstars? No, but
him or Turner. I mean, you got Adrian Gonzalez, who's been in the league for 12 years.
Can I tell you why it scares me? Because it's the Mets version 2.0 in the sense of Curtis Granderson didn't strike fear in anyone. Murphy didn't really strike fear into anyone. But then you play these guys, and you're like, who's Noah Syndergaard's pretty good? Oh, shit. And then, you go down that pitching line. I'm telling you, man, like, L.A. isn't where they're at because they're not a good ball club.
Neither of those pitching staffs scare me because they both have an ace right now, but due to injury, they both don't have a solid number 2. Right now, the Dodgers are going to pitch Rich Hill tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they go game one Kershaw if we get him. And it's like I said, Kershaw has kind of struggled compared to his regular season.
I'll tell you what, though, man, Rizzo's really got to step his game up. He was there was a stat going into the Tuesday game that he was 0 for 12 without a hit in the playoffs.
Oh, did you see how happy he got when he got the blooper? He hugged the first base coach.
He's got a hit.
You hit a blooper.
Here's the thing, though. He's got a hit, man. Like he's a huge part of this team. Like it's Rizzo, Bryant, Javi, Addy.
I mean, he's your cleanup hitter. He's supposed to hit. That's what you're paying him for.
Exactly.
I will say he's
got that ugly swing too, which really kind of like. But when it's working, it's beautiful. But it hasn't been working. At the very least, though,
he's played very good defense at first.
Oh, he's one of the best first basemen. I would argue to say he's like the consummate first baseman. In a lot of fantasy leagues, he's the most touted first baseman. So, but yeah, I love Anthony Rizzo. I have nothing bad to say about Anthony Rizzo. I just really want he's due. You know what I mean? So,
I think.
What team scares you more, Toronto or Cleveland?
Oh, as far as that, okay. So I would say I think Washington wins. I'm more afraid of Washington. I still think the Cubs beat Washington though. As far as Toronto or Cleveland. I mean, I don't know if you remember a conversation last week. I gave Cleveland no credit coming into this.
And they swept.
And Toronto scared me. I still have to go with that. I still think Toronto's lineup is deadly. When you got Encarnacion, Donaldson, Bautista, and Tulowitzki.
It's tough, man.
And Adam Pilar leading on. I mean, that team's nasty, man.
It's very nasty. That team scares me. But you know what?
And you got that home. I mean, I know it's baseball, but that home crowd too. You got that dome. You close it off. It gets loud in there. I mean,
yeah, but we also won in Frisco, and that wasn't a cakewalk.
No, absolutely not.
So and we took them like we went down swinging on Monday.
I do think the Cubs though are the premier team in baseball. I don't know if I'm jinxing it or if that scares anyone.
They are. Not one Cubs fan is cocky. We're confident and hopeful. You understand? Yep. And any cocky Cubs fans, you just shut the fuck up. We don't need your bad juju. We're scared, man. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I was like, this is gonna go to a game 5, and this was in the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah.
I'm like, the lump I had in my throat and the feeling I had in my stomach, and it sounds so stupid because it's just sport, but it's like, no, man, because I'm thinking of like my mom who's been watching for 51 years. I just saw on ABC did an article, and guys, feel free to look it up. I'll put it on our Facebook, but a 102-year-old lady has been keeping score since the 60s.
Yeah.
She watches this. She's like, how the hell else am I going to know everybody's name? But you got ladies like that. She's 102 years old and still watches the Cubs.
Mike Wilbon, I think, had one of the better quotes about it when he was asked, is this one of the better feelings or sports moments for Cubs? And he said it's the best one because nobody alive has seen the Cubs win the World Series.
Yeah.
There's nobody.
Sad, dude. It's crazy. And we're doing it all without Schwarber, too, which is incredible because that was a huge blow, dude. That's like losing Schwarber. I mean, who knows where his home runs would be right now. You know, Chris is, at 39 at the end of the regular season or something like that? Let's say high 30s. Who knows where Schwarber would have been?
Yeah.
He was the best hitter on the team last year.
It would have been, yeah.
You know,
would have been cool to see.
Would have been hindsight's always 20/20. Let's win it. What else we got?
Oh, speaking of teams that win, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You want to talk about a little Monday Night Football?
I would. Do you have your bar key on you by chance?
I do.
Okay, guys. In case for all of our listeners who aren't watching us on YouTube, I am cracking open a Pellegrino.
It's over on the other table.
Let's break down some Monday Night Football.
Okay, so oh man, that Monday night game. I don't know if you guys watched. The Bucs ended up winning 17-14. A roller coaster of emotions for me. All I could keep saying, I don't know if you know the stat. So Cam Newton was out. They put in their backup, Derek Anderson, former Browns quarterback.
He was dabbing too hard, right?
Okay, he was dabbing way too hard. He
broke his
concussion.
neck. Gotcha.
Dabbing so hard.
Yeah, that's right, concussion.
So Derek Anderson has started 2 games for the Panthers since he became a backup there. He's 2-0.
He's a good backup. Derek Anderson's a good quarterback.
Can you name the teams he's won against?
Cleveland.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He is 2-0 against Tampa Bay. And all I could see the entire time watching it is on my Facebook feed saying Derek Anderson has won all 3 starts as a starter. They were all against Tampa Bay. And that's all I could see in my head that entire game. I was like, this is going to happen. I'm going to see this on my freaking feed. You know, I'm going to go crazy. The Bucs defense.
Great go-to.
Dude, shout out. Fumbles, interceptions. Brent Grimes with the red zone interception. Just taking advantage of any opportunity we could. The That was a decently called offensive game, too. I would say we pounded the ball with Jacquizz Rodgers, which is weird to say.
So
ended
weird.
up with like 120 yards rushing against a very good Panthers defense.
Yeah.
But we just kept pounding it, and that's how we won games last year with Doug Martin. And, I mean, if Jacquizz Rodgers can do this with this...
it's actually my strategy in the bedroom. Just keep pounding until I win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So weird. I'm single. Anyway. No, yeah, Jacquizz, and you picked him up off of our waivers. We caught him.
No, I did.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
The Bears had him. He was our third string running back. He was the last time he was semi-decent was in Atlanta, which is got to feel good for you guys.
Which is funny because Dirk Cotter is our head coach, who was the former offensive coordinator of Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I think that's where he was the most successful, was when Dirk Cotter was his offensive coordinator.
Sure.
And towards the end of the game, fucking Robert Aguayo. Sorry, but fucking Robert Aguayo.
Didn't you guys trade up in the second round for a kicker?
God, yes.
Was that the same guy?
I think.
And you know what? You guys have like a history with kickers because you gave us this horse shit kicker that you're like, oh, he's pretty good. His name's Connor Barth. So there's got to be something with Tampa and kickers.
Okay,
dude.
so I'm just going to read my text message chain to you.
That was hilarious.
This is so Aguayo starts off, makes a field goal. Awesome.
Isn't that what he's supposed to do?
Misses the next two. So I'm going to look it up real quick. What did I text you?
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
We got it.
I text, this fucking game. You start laughing at me. I say, fuck. Second round, fuck. And I said, sorry about that. I'm beginning to think our second round pick of Robert Aguayo has proved to be ill-advised.
What was my response?
LMAO, what's happening? Watching Cubs.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, so basically he ended up 2 of 4, making his first one, missing his next 2.
What were the distance? Can we give him any credit? Didn't you say one of the distances was?
Nope. He made 38, missed 35, missed maybe 40 at the most.
What the fuck is wrong with this guy? I could make a 35-yard.
And the worst part, okay, so the Bucs are driving. It's 14-14. There's a little over 2 minutes left. So Jameis, on second down, Jameis throws this horrible pass to Mike Evans, which overthrown. He's in double coverage. Thank God Mike Evans wrecks the guy so he doesn't intercept it.
Yeah.
Then on 3rd and 9, we run a draw play, basically conceding the fact that Dirk Cotter's afraid to let Winston throw the ball, and we want to put the game in Robert Aguayo's hands with his feet, if you will.
Yeah.
2 minutes
His
left.
hands might be better.
Might as well try to throw it, right?
Jesus.
Ends up missing that kick. We end up intercepting the ball and coming back, and I just kept going, it's coming down to Aguayo. I know it. I can't wait to lose this game. And he made
ended
it.
up. I remember when I got that text. Yeah.
I don't understand.
Dude, Connor Barth too, man. I'll go back for guys. If you heard the little jab that I took at him, for those of you who don't know, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traded up in the second round for the most accurate NCAA kicker in history, I believe.
Yes.
Named Robert Aguayo. He then proceeds in the offseason to check himself into a rehab for what was it?
This is not correct. First of all, this is not correct. He was bad in the preseason, so he got the help of a sports psychologist to help him get over whatever.
Was it inpatient
and
psychology?
It has not worked. I'm losing my patience.
This guy, yeah. I mean, I feel bad for the kids, sort of, but like, dude, I've been so privileged as a Bears fan to have Robbie Gould all these years, and then Connor Barth, former Buccaneer. I asked him, I'm like, who is this guy? What's his story? He goes, oh, don't worry, he's pretty good.
I said he's perfectly adequate.
Dude, he's like 3 for 6. He's awful. I've never seen that in my life.
With the funniest part, speaking of announcers,
he's
again,
4 for 6. I'm
the
just stretching
funniest
it,
part
still.
is, I think it's Dan Schulman who calls Monday night. He was so condescending at the end of the game when Aguayo makes the field goal. He goes, as long as you're not a Panthers fan, you just got to know right now that you feel good for this kid. It's like, fuck you. Like, I don't want to be the Rudy of the NFL. Like, I don't want you to feel bad for my team.
Oh, man. We'll get to fantasy in a minute, but
yes.
I got old man Vinatieri at 44 years of age. He got me 23 points.
That's ridiculous.
He was 5 for 5.
Also, I want to say, Aguayo, you make me drink. a lot.
There's a lot about that team that makes one drink.
That's why Monday night I was kind of like, yeah.
And I'm a Bears fan.
Cubs lost, whatever. Because
Yeah.
I was wasted.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make hashtag drinks out for Aguayo a thing.
Oh, like dicks out for Harambe?
Yeah,
I see you. I see you.
Clever? No, not clever.
We're hip. Men in scoring position. We're with the times. That's what's up. Yeah, man. Monday Night Football. What are you gonna? I was flipping back and forth. But you guys did your thing. I thought that it was really with that Panthers, not necessarily their defensive line, but with their Kuechly and
Thomas Davis.
Thomas
Shaq
Davis.
Thompson,
Yeah. I thought that to be able to pound. That, for 120 plus
Pounding the rock
with Jacquees Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't have Doug Martin.
And
you don't have Charles Sims.
No, Sims. They just put Sims on IR. We called up.
Does he plan on coming back anytime this season?
No, I think IR would mean he's out for the rest of the season.
No, because we do
or 6 weeks if it's a pup list.
So it's like there's two forms of it. So yeah,
I think he's out for the season. Dougie's coming back. We have a bye week coming up. 2 and 3 going in the bye week. Doug Martin might come back the following week.
Okay.
So where do you see the Bucks going forward?
Yeah, the Bucks. It's a tough division, dude, and like Atlanta's lighting it up right now.
Ugh.
So that's got to suck for you, dude.
I will get into my predictions about Atlanta later on.
I don't think Carolina's going to repeat, especially with all the
starting 1 and 4. I think that's too tough.
And then who's the fourth one in
Saints.
that? The Saints. Yeah, the Saints are a dumpster fire.
So wanted to talk a little about the Bears too.
Yeah.
So ended up losing to Indianapolis, but wow.
Can I just sit on my
offense?
throne and say that Brian Hoyer, 398 yards, 2 touchdowns, plus 700 yards and 4 touchdowns, no interceptions in 2 games. Fuck all of you who doubted me. I also started him and got 23 points as well as my starting quarterback. I think that we're seeing a very transitional phase with the Bears, man. I think I want to give a big shout-out to 4th-round draft pick Jordan Howard, who I know picked up on waivers, which I was really pissed about because I look and I'm like, you had just picked him up.
Both
I was
leagues,
like, fuck. I think he had like 150 plus and a touchdown.
Yeah, overall from scrimmage, yeah.
So, and then I want to give a big shout-out to Cameron Meredith.
Who the hell is this guy?
So Cameron Meredith is our big guy was always Marquise Wilson. Poor kid has just been injured every year. He's like our stud. He's like our Sammy Coates. And then one year it was a clavicle, another year. Anyway, so Cameron Meredith, we get him. We put, and he looked good.
He looked like he had a very good connection with
especially with Kevin White going out.
About to say, who needs White, right?
I don't know. Dude, 2 years of this nonsense. And then it sucks because it takes away the deep threat from Alshon Jeffrey, but Hoyer's got to cement for me. I'm very biased. He's got to cement the fact that he's going to start and Cutler's going to sit his ass on the bench.
So do you think this is a fluke in the sense that the Colts defense is terrible?
No, I told you that.
The
Colts defense is terrible and their secondary is awful. But I told you from the beginning of the season that Brian Hoyer is a big acquisition because Cutler, I know what to get from Cutler. It's a bad marriage. The sex is going to be okay, and then she's going to bitch a lot, and it's like it is what it is. But now we got Hoyer, who really, really wants to play, who's getting his offensive line to cover for him. Obviously, like, Cutler's not getting that done, and this is a very Cutler-based issue right now because he's the last of a dying breed. The sooner we get rid of him, the better. Honestly, dude, I'd rather tank an entire season and do 0-16 lines and hit through the draft and hit through free agency and use our salary cap than go on with this guy anymore. I'm done. I've defended him for 6 years. And then I hated him for.
Fun whenever the Bears fans would defend Cutler.
No, there was a point where he was really busting his ass. There was a point where he was crushing it, and then it all went down.
He was trying hard. That's not the same as crushing.
Well, you have to understand, we were transitioning from like a just run first Thomas Jones team to like, okay, now we got Forte, and now we got Cutler with an arm strength, and then we get Bennett, and we get Brandon Marshall. Like, we really geared it around him. And then I remember vividly, dude, when he took those 6 sacks on Monday Night Football against the Giants. That's when, to me personally, is when he was just like, fuck this. He got lit up that game.
Yeah.
But, dude, he's never – you said it best. We went to a Bucs-Bears game, and you said it perfectly. I couldn't have said it any better myself. You're like, he'll never throw for over 4,500.
No.
He'll never have more than 40 touchdowns.
No.
And he'll never hoist a Lombardi. That's just a fact.
He's an average quarterback with above average skill.
Jeff George.
Yeah, he's exactly Jeff George.
But yeah, Jordan Howard looked great. Cameron Meredith looked great.
Yeah.
Zach he's getting a rapport with Hoyer too.
Mm-hmm.
I was really like,
I
stay
know he's
away
coming
from
off
him.
hip injury too.
He's always injured.
Yeah.
And defensively,
right.
Callahan.
All right.
Callahan stepped up.
Yeah.
Adrian Amos, the safeties seem to have a little bit of an issue, but I'd like to see Floyd do more. 9th overall pick.
I told you, man.
Dude.
I did not like him coming out.
Oof.
So I wanted to try a new segment
All right.
called Travis Takes.
Oh shit.
Travis's Takes.
I've been talking a lot. You
Yeah.
sure you want to do this?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's
What's up?
do it. I'm just
Hit
going to
me.
give you a few like little lightning round topics or questions. You give me your opinion on it.
Cool.
Straight off. Austin Matthews. Tell me a little about him.
Dude.
What's your take on him?
First overall pick in the NHL draft. It was him and Connor McDavid coming out. McDavid goes first. Now he goes first. He scores a hat trick +1 in his season debut. Like that's insane.
For non-NHL fans, how many goals? Is
That's
that?
4 goals, people. 4 goals for fucking debut. That you don't do that. Nobody's ever done that.
No.
Not Gretzky, not Hull, not nobody.
Do you know how many times Sidney Crosby has scored 4 goals in a game?
I do.
Yeah.
It's none.
Zero.
None.
Zero. This guy in his first game has scored more goals in a game than Sidney Crosby has.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
I'm also not a big Sid the Kid fan. I think he's as I've expressed, he's the LeBron James, which you interpret as he's the best. I interpret
best,
he's a whiny bitch.
Take that as a compliment.
But he's got the hardware too.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Cowboys, Dak or Romo? If Romo's healthy,
That's a no-brainer for me. But for some reason, old man Jones, it's fucking Dak, dude. You got to go with Dak. Romo doesn't have hardware. He's not been to a Super Bowl. Like, Dak's getting the job done right now, and it sucks for Romo, I guess, but he's 35, 36, and he's got a broken back.
do you think though Romo has a higher ceiling coming off?
You mean to get them into the playoffs?
So the only
It just
issue
leaves a bad taste, dude.
only issue with Dak would be that he's not going to take over the game with his arm. He's going to manage the game. He's going to hand it to Zeke. He's going to run a read option. He's going to throw it to Witten, throw it to Beasley.
He's got a strong enough arm to be a starting quarterback in the NFL.
But he's also a rookie though. Like that's tough, man.
No, I'm not saying. All right, so what's the thing? If you start Prescott and bench Romo, then you're not going to win the Super Bowl, right? That's the thing.
That's the idea.
But that is a Cutler situation.
Well, because
let him go.
The argument would be that Dak is a game manager, and game managers win Super Bowls, but almost exclusively they've had a great defense. The Cowboys do not have.
They have an
great
awful defense at best.
They have
but they're 4-1.
They're 4-1. But he doesn't have the 2001
And
Ravens
it's not just
defense.
Dak.
He doesn't have the last year's Denver
fine.
Broncos defense.
You might have heard of this guy Ben Roethlisberger coming out of.
They had a great defense in
They
Pittsburgh.
did. Yeah, but he also won what? How many games?
Yeah, but they didn't
10
win the
or
Super
11
Bowl.
in his rookie. That's fine.
They went 15-1.
I'm looking at it. I guess my mind has been geared football in terms of like you got to just kind of like switch it up. You got to kind of look towards the future, and you know what the future holds with Tony Romo. It's a lot of heartbreak and fuck up. And like, yeah, he'll get you to the playoffs, and then he's gonna fuck up, and then there's always gonna be this hindsight. I think if Dak hadn't played well, but it raises question. You know, Drew Bledsoe, a lot of people would have started him, and then this 199th overall pick comes in, and he becomes the GOAT.
Yeah, but not a rookie.
That's true. He wasn't a rookie, but does that really make a difference?
Oh,
Because this is a rookie-led team right now, and they're crushing it.
You know it does to me.
All right, so where are you at in this? It sounds
Romo.
like you want to start Romo.
Bring Romo back. If Romo's healthy, if Romo's 100% healthy, you start Tony Romo.
Why is that?
Because he has a higher ceiling than Dak Prescott this year.
This year?
This year.
It's year to year.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I
yeah,
don't think there's any.
I think that's
Dak's
going to
come out and said this is a team.
Yeah.
He's never once said I'm the quarterback. He says this is a team.
Yeah, because
and
he's
you
still
put the
wet
best
behind
player
the
on there.
ears.
Yeah.
I think that's going to create a lot of locker room discord. I think that a lot of guys are going to be like, well, dude, we were winning. And then if you start losing with Romo, that team falls the fuck apart.
Yeah.
You understand? So assuming that Romo wins, sure, that makes sense. But we don't know if Romo's going to win.
Every decision looks better if you win.
You know what I mean? Seriously. Unless you're the Buccaneers, and then you're like, well, he's our first overall draft pick.
So this, my bad. This is supposed to be like a lightning round,
Yeah, it's
whatever.
okay. I'm having fun.
Kaepernick, what do you think?
Couldn't get any worse.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Greg Hardy has announced that he will try to fight MMA next year as a heavyweight. Thoughts?
I love Jay Glazer's take on this. It was on, God, what was it on? I want to say it was on The Herd. Jay Glazer goes, I specifically teach self-defense to women's for people so that they don't get beat up, so they don't get mugged, so they don't get hurt. And we're going to bring a guy who couldn't hack it in a league where it doesn't and we're going to teach him how to become lethal. I've literally reached out to people and said, do not train this guy because he's a fucking head case and he's a woman beater.
Oh, that's a great I never thought about that. I never thought about the him getting trained. I never thought about that.
Yeah, no, Jay Glazer has literally reached out to everybody he knows, supposedly, arguably.
Yeah.
There's a lot of context, but he goes, yeah, do not train this guy. And a lot of people are receptive to it.
That's an interesting
because MMA as a whole, there's a lot of guys that are getting in trouble. Rumble Johnson, who's the psychopath?
War Machine originally?
War Machine.
Yeah.
They're all beating their women. Vitor Belfort.
This is a guy who's, I think, you know what? Ronda Rousey.
Oh, what's the kid? The guy, our good friend Cliff. If you guys ever go back to episode 3, we had Cliff Hackerman on. The guy, he was sipping whiskey with him, and he just got in trouble for beating the shit out of his wife that night. God, I can't think of it. I'll go back. I'll post it to our page, guys. But yeah, Cliff. I contacted Cliff. I was like, Cliff, what do you think about this? He's like, I was sipping whiskey and wild turkey with him all night. So
I was gonna say, Ronda Rousey announced a comeback. Do you think she should fight Greg Hardy?
I think she would fuck Greg Hardy up.
That'd be pretty interesting.
She'd break his arms and then rip those.
That'd be fucking awesome.
1980 hoop.
So last quick question. NFL. Who's the best team you've seen so far this year?
Best team?
Who looks the best?
Ooh, that's tough. Do you have an answer?
Vikings.
That's weird, right?
Yeah, 5-0.
So weird to
looking
say.
So good.
You know what? I'm gonna say it. Who looks the best, dude? Gotta go Pats.
Gotta go Pats.
Gotta go Pats. I don't care about I don't care about the quarterback situation because Brady is back, bitches. Dude, he lit it up.
Yeah,
he fucking lit it up. Yeah, dude, you just look out. The Patriots are not gonna lose another game.
Do you want to do fantasy talk?
I would love to, guys. So I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna two-part it or whatnot. We're gonna figure something out. But we're definitely the second half of our podcast are gonna be all football fantasy based.
A little trivia at the end. Don't forget about that.
Yeah,
playing little games.
And in case you guys were wanting to know the name of the segment, it's Men in Scoring Positions Fantasy.
Yes.
Quotations football advice.
Yep.
So did you got a couple emails and questions?
Couple texts, couple emails.
Nice. Hey guys, thank you. Please submit all of your stuff to all of our social media platforms. We'll plug at the end. We love answering these questions, and if you fuck up, that's on you. It's not our fault.
All right, so this is a standard ESPN scoring PPR league.
Yes.
They drafted both Tevin Coleman and Devontae Freeman. Would you start both, or would you trade one? Who would you trade?
It depends on what you're trading for and what the necessity is, obviously.
They asked that they would like a wide receiver.
Off waivers or a
wide
trade?
Receiver 2? No, a trade.
Well, assuming that you have like a solid wide receiver 1, I could see getting rid of him for a good wide receiver 2, like a Michael Crabtree.
Getting rid of which one, though? That's
a tough call. I would have to say, just due to the fact that like Devontae seems to really be coming out of his shell, I would say ship off Coleman. But I mean, don't settle for a third. Like, you settle for a good, like a guy who's going to get touches. You know, like a Julian Edelman, if you could.
Yeah.
So
that'd be great, or a PPR Jarvis Landry if you can, one of those.
I still think Jarvis Landry is a number 1, even though Miami is an absolute dumpster fire. Jarvis Landry, I have him on one of my leagues, and he's always 20 points.
Yeah. So you would keep Freeman over Coleman?
The numbers that Freeman's putting up right now are no joke.
Would you start both?
If you didn't have any other options, and assuming that your flex option would be like a tight end or another receiver, then sure.
To follow up, I actually have more information on this one. He has Eddie Lacy as his third running back. Would you start both?
You have to start Lacy. No, you have to start Lacy because James Starks is injured, and they don't have a third running back. Like, so start him.
Yeah.
He's going to get touches, not to mention the fact that actually
I just wish he
Aaron Rodgers is at the bottom of the barrel right now in terms of not only fantasy but quarterback production in the NFL.
Having Eddie Lacy,
fucking felt so good to say, by the way.
Having Eddie Lacy, man, I just wish he produced more. Last game was his best game with 11 points. He doesn't catch out of the backfield, and he's going to get 15 to 18 carries. He's not, it's ugh. I would personally start both Falcons running backs.
The amount of touches that Lacy's going to get, I would say ride that gravy train, and if you have to, ship him off to trade rape somebody in like week 8, week 9.
Next question, again, standard PPR league, ESPN. Sure. Would it be worth trading for Tyler Eifert this season? They have.
When is he projected to come back?
Either this week or next week.
Absolutely.
He had a setback. but they want a running back 2 or a wide receiver 2.
So wait, what's the question? I'm so sorry.
Would it be worth giving up a running back, their second running back or their second wide receiver?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. No questions asked.
Okay.
Tyler Eifert comes in. He is a red zone nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
I had him last year, dude. He's assuming
But
that he
this
comes.
is
How many snaps is he going to get? I don't know, because my first round draft pick was Rob Gronkowski, so that really hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But Tyler Eifert does nothing but catch touchdowns.
To play devil's advocate, though, the Bengals have not looked that good this year. Albeit without
Look what
without
AJ's
Eifert,
putting up, though.
Without Eifert, but also they aren't in the Hugh Jackson offense anymore.
That's true, but we're talking about red zone.
Mm-hmm.
He is a red zone nightmare.
Okay, so you would trade for Eifert.
I would
All right.
absolutely trade for Tyler Eifert.
All right, now Jeremy Curley, the slot wide receiver for the Niners.
What about him?
Had a good rapport with Gabbard, ended up scoring 22 points.
Yeah, because he
last
was
week.
dumping it off. Yeah.
Is he worth picking up with Kaepernick as the starter?
Only time will tell. I would say it's way too uncertain. If you could just pick him up off waivers for like
Yes.
like an Asiata or somebody that's not being used, sure.
So the option this guy gives us is Jeremy Curley or Adam Thielen, the slot wide receiver for the Vikings. Who should you use his waiver claim on?
Curley, I have Curley, and he's always at 11 points. But again, it's a different quarterback. I say C. What's going on? Because if you were to ask me right now.
So I'm asking you.
Yeah,
right
stick
now.
with Curley because the wide receiver core in San Francisco leaves to be desired.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Got 2 more.
Sure.
Emergency QB start because his QB's on bye. Tyrod Taylor versus San Francisco, Trevor Siemian versus San Diego, or Marcus Mariota versus Cleveland.
Definitely get Tyrod out of there.
No Tyrod.
No Tyrod. Absolutely not. He is a fantasy owner heartbreak this year.
I feel like you have some personal experience with that.
Yeah, man. I drafted him
so
in like
sad.
the 9th round. Thinking, Pro Bowl,
Yeah.
contract year. No. Awful. Trevor Siemian is extremely interesting.
Mm-hmm.
San Diego's defense is in the middle of the pack, right?
Dude, San Diego is such a weird team.
They're so weird.
Here's a stat about San Diego. They've spent the 4th most time, as in most time on the clock, whatever.
Oh, is that what time is?
The 4th, the 4th most minutes spent in the lead of a game.
And then they lose?
They're 1-4. The 3 teams ahead of them are 13-2.
So that has to attest to their defense, correct?
Yes. So they've blown a 4th quarter lead in 4 games.
Trevor Siemian's coming off injury, and what was my option 3?
Option 3 would be Marcus Mariota versus Cleveland.
That's another heartbreak. Mariota. Here's what Mariota's going to do for you. He's either going to put up 25 or 10.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
He's had 1 good game this year, but they are a run-first team with Henry and Murray.
Yeah. I'm still hanging on to Henry, waiting for Murray to get injured.
Mm-hmm.
I say the safe. I think this is a game. Now this is
Simeon's coming off injury.
Siemian is coming.
Remember,
off
these
injury.
are emergency QB. These are waiver QBs.
So you wouldn't necessarily start them
No. This is you're picking a guy up to start.
to start.
Yeah.
I think the safer bet would be Mariota, but my gut is saying pick up Siemian and start Siemian.
Yeah. I personally would pick up Mariota. I think he has a higher ceiling.
Yeah, especially with his legs.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
You know.
Absolutely. If they
But I
convert
also
to
had
read
Mariota at one point,
Mhm.
and he didn't do much.
No, like I said, this year he's had 1 good game. I think he's adjusting the Malarkey offense. He's
Yeah.
not going to put up a lot of points with his arm.
Yeah,
but
the safe bet would
him
be
and him and Taylor have the run option.
yeah.
So those are the 2 guys with, I think, a higher ceiling.
Yeah.
I would agree, though. I would not start Tyrod Taylor, despite it's San Francisco. Like, these are all good matchups, you know?
Yeah, they're all like shit defenses. So you're like,
Exactly.
where do you go? I picked up Kaepernick. Just I don't know if I'm gonna start him, but I have him in
here's
the
the thing.
pocket.
What if the team they're playing just plays the national anthem during the game? He has to take a knee.
That is true.
naked
That is
rushing
true. And then the
yards.
clock runs
Just saying.
out, and then you get no points, and it's like, what do you do?
So my
I think
my
we might
pick
have
would be-
lost and gained a bunch of listeners.
My pick with Mariota, it would be Simeon. Last question.
No. I would do Mariota
You do Mariota
as a
too?
safe bet, but my gut is saying Simeon.
Okay, so this is in a keeper league.
Okay.
This is a trade offer.
Okay.
They would
For a
trade.
keeper.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
So this is in a
Gotcha,
league in
gotcha,
which
gotcha,
you can
gotcha.
keep a good amount of your
Gotcha.
players.
Gotcha.
So the team is trading him Doug Martin, Dak Prescott, and a first-round rookie pick for Todd Gurley. So he'd be giving up Todd Gurley Is it worth to give up Todd Gurley for Doug Martin, Dak Prescott, and a first-round rookie pick? Keep in mind they have Phillip Rivers as their quarterback already.
Yeah. Here's why. You don't know who you're going to get in that first round. Personally, I know this is going to sound super Judas, but we don't know where LA is going to go. I know Jeff Fisher's your guy. He fucking hates Jeff Fisher. But it's kind of like
vanilla.
It's like a Thurman Thomas trade. I think that it's almost even with Doug Martin in terms of fantasy points for Gurley. The fact that you get a first-round draft pick and a possible future starter. Absolutely. Yep. That is like a no-brainer to me. Not to dumb down the situation. It's a valid question, and we love your questions. But absolutely do that trade.
The only thing
even if Todd Gurley lights it up, he's still a running back.
No, and Doug's going to miss, I think, maybe one more game. This guy has he's hurting would be hurting a little bit at running back then.
If you're hurting at running back, there's guys on the waiver wire that I really, really like. Like, for instance, Bilal Powell is a reception nightmare for the Jets. You can pick him up. You can do
the
any
waiver wire is a little thin in this league because it's a 12-team keeper league.
That's true. Well, we're in a 12-team league as well.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody's keeping Bilal Powell. So
True.
There you go. He's 10 points right there. Boom.
All right. So that wraps up our fantasy
guys,
talk.
Thank you so much for that. For all your questions and everything. We love it. We'll also probably do like live updates and live uploads for fantasy as well. We got to get on top of that as well. We've been a little lackadaisical in that regard.
I want to do one. You want to call them the Laugh Factory Locks of the Week?
Sure. Let's do it.
Laughable picks.
The laughable. Any of those will do.
Some of those.
Yeah, pick from the bouquet.
This is not fantasy. This is just for the NFL. I'm taking the Seahawks big over the Falcons. I think this is the week the Falcons go back to the team they are, which is a bad team.
Seems a little biased, buddy.
They do this every week or every year.
Okay. And what? Now I have to just pick a win-lose?
I don't know.
What the fuck is this segment?
that was my lock. We'll do his lock. We'll do his lock next week.
I think that was just basically like an undertone of like fuck the Falcons. That's hilarious.
I'm a fan. I hate the Falcons.
I say Green Bay loses.
Green Bay. Okay, I like it.
I'm basically piggybacking you.
You want to get in our last segment, the little trivia?
Yeah, we're doing fine on time.
Sweet.
Let's do it.
Okay, so this is gonna be a lot of Chicago trivia for you.
Okay.
I got 5 questions.
Guys, we normally do like a does he know what he's talking about segment. We do that with guests, which we should get a guest on. It's been a while since we've had a guest, right?
I'm sure people are bored of. Email us. Are you bored of us? Do you want guests?
Yeah, we'll fold that up nicely and just, put it in a good file.
Yes. All right.
So we're doing some trivia?
So yes,
Chicago trivia.
Chicago trivia.
God, way to make me look like an idiot.
Before this postseason, who was the last Cubs pitcher to home run in the postseason?
Zambrano?
Nope.
Wood.
Gary Wood's correct.
Yeah, there we go.
So you're 0 for 1.
Great guy. Came into Laugh Factory. The super, super nice guy.
Okay. What quarterback? Oh, this one is not Chicago related. What quarterback?
Thanks for that.
Just broke into the top 10 touchdown passes.
Shut the fuck up, dude.
This past weekend.
Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers. God. 1 and 2.
Oh my God.
Back to the Chicago questions.
I think it was 2 of 2. I think it was like a 1.5.
Speaking of Chicago Bears, where did Brian Hoyer go to college?
Michigan State.
Michigan State's correct. That's 2.
I'm a Michigan fan, dude.
Okay.
Cool. Well played, sir.
In honor of the Blackhawks starting their season last night, 5-2, whatever. It was a game.
It is what it is.
All right. I need you to name at least 5 of the top 10 all-time scorers for the Blackhawks. As a hint, all of them have over 560 points for the Blackhawks.
Chris Chelios.
Chelios is incorrect. You're 0 for 1.
Ooh, Bobby Hull.
I was going to say name 5 without getting one wrong.
Oh. Well, can I keep going? Or?
Sure. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay, Bobby Hull.
Correct.
Mario Hossa.
No.
What do you mean?
No.
Hossa's definitely got over 560
Not for
goals.
the Blackhawks.
He's on the Blackhawks team.
For the Blackhawks.
So you mean that they had to be drafted and stay their entire career with the Blackhawks?
No, I mean, this is points they scored as wearing a Blackhawks sweater.
Oh, what a flawed system. This guy sucks at trivia.
Oh, my God.
Okay. Tony Amonte?
No.
I don't know. That's tough.
You want me to read them off for you?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, how about this? I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
2 are active.
Patrick Kane?
Yes.
and Jonathan Tays.
Correct.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yes, correct.
Nice. All right.
All right.
It just seemed too easy. That's why I was like, I got to go back.
You got Stan Mikita.
Makita, yeah.
You got Dennis Savard.
Savard, nice.
I forgot his first name. Larimer.
Michael Larimer, famous Chicago comedian.
Famous Chicago comedian.
Yeah. Great
Wilson.
chin.
You got another hole. I just wrote down last names. I probably should have wrote first names.
Yeah.
Pitt Martin.
Martin. How did I forget that?
And Jeremy Roenick.
Oh, Jeremy Roenick. God damn it. That was the one. I was actually going to say Roenick, too.
Okay,
so.
fine. How about this? You get this one right. You win.
And you know what? Janikowski and Quinn and all you guys who listen, Buds, all you guys, fuck you if you think you could have done better on that because that was a tough one.
There was, so I host trivia, and that was one of the questions last night. There was a team that got 9 out of 10 of those right.
Nice.
But they put Tony Amonte for the 10th. So you're in good company.
See?
Yeah.
Right winger, dude.
And I was actually, one of my hints, too, was that I told them, I was like, they have to be in a Blackhawk sweater for the points to score. So a guy like Chris Chelios wouldn't be a good pick because he played for so many different teams. So he played for the Blackhawks for so long.
Fair enough.
And
Fair enough.
the team still wrote down Chelios. I just found that funny. All right.
So you warned them ahead of time.
I did, and they still wrote. I told them I was disappointed in them, too.
Man, unreal.
All right,
unreal.
Last question. Over under. Most yards thrown by Jay Cutler as a Chicago Bear in one season. 3,600. Over or under?
Over.
3,660.
Yeah.
I
knew
barely.
that.
You did not know that.
I knew that. Actually, I thought it was 38.
Just like you knew Pitt
Just
Martin.
to be. Yeah, Pitt Martin. God, the legend. I feel really bad. Like, that's awful. But you have to understand, too, for, like, the Blackhawks.
Sure, totally understand.
It wasn't televised.
Yep.
It was all radio.
Revolution wasn't televised.
Oh, yeah, because you were watching all those Marlin games and those Rays games by your fucking, what is it, the radios? Right next to your vinyl connection. See, those old school radios, what are those, whatchamacallits? Yeah, it's got,
All right. So I think that's going to wrap it up.
Does that wrap us up for today?
Yeah.
Guys, if you stuck with our nonsense and gibberish,
thank
we thank you very, very much. We are the Men in Scoring Position, guys. You can find us on Facebook, SoundCloud, and iTunes, all self-titled Men in Scoring Position. You can also find us on Twitter and Snapchat, Men in Scoring POS. Feel free to email us any of your Does He Know What He's Talking About questions if you want to be interviewed. And then trivia questions, fantasy football advice.
Absolutely.
To meninscoringpod@gmail.com. Billy, what do they always need to do?
Rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend.
Tell a bunch of friends.
And root for the Bucks. Go Bucks.
Yeah, whatever. We'll give it to them tonight.
Go Bucks, go Cubs.
You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.